Hi, YouTube. Um, so a lot of times, I want to kind of jump right into this video, but just a little preface. How I'm, why I'm making this video is this is my conclusion. This is my theory. Um, this is just like some of my personal beliefs and my own research. Um, I think the media distracts and tries to confuse us from a lot of what's really going on. For instance, a couple of years ago, people with 4-year college degrees, like in psychology or biology, they weren't making a lot of money or couldn't get a job in their field. So they were working at Burger King. They were managers at like McDonald's, and they were saying that they can't find a job in their career field. Because like in most of those, you have to have a master's degree. You can't just get a bachelor's degree. You're not really going to find employment like that unless you want to teach high school. And so a lot of people say just go to get a trade, get a vocational trade or something like that. Mechanic, electrician, plumber, welding, whatever, nursing, just do nursing or something, or like RN. And so they were saying, don't waste your time going to college. You're just gonna run up your debt, and you could be making money a lot sooner just getting a trade. And so they were trying to decrease, I guess, the importance of a 4-year university degree, and that's a flawed concept. Um, I took like 3 years of biology pre med at Methodist. I took a year of nursing. I did 3 years of business communications and legal concepts, business school, macroeconomics at Fayetteville State, basically business. Before I went to prison. Then when I got out of prison, then I went back and got 2 degrees. One was in applied science and something else, another associate's degree. But altogether, I've had like 9, 10 years of college. But while I was at Methodist, mostly Methodist, some Fayetteville State, Methodist was a good school. We talked about not just following, but always asking questions. Never stop asking questions. Especially in philosophy and history class. And we didn't, history was the same thing that we had in high school, but we looked at it different. Such as like Christopher Columbus, we determined that we read the history books and they said he discovered America, but he didn't because they had the Piri Reis maps, which were the maps from Portugal, and Portugal had been doing trade with the Native Americans for over 50 years, through the Knights Templar. And so they had the Knights Templar cross on the front of their ships. And so that's why the Nina Maria and the Santa Maria had the Knights Templar, the red cross on the front of their ships, because they knew that, the Knights Templar had a good relationship with the Native Americans, and they knew that they were also violent. So in order to make it to shore safe, that's why they flew those Knights Templar crosses on those 3 ships from Christopher Columbus. And Portugal was the enemy of the Queen of England at the time. So Christopher Columbus got Queen of England to fund him on his trip or whatever. He already knew that this land was over there, and there was a plan. They had a plan. They were gonna fly under the flag of the Knights Templar of Portugal because they had a good relationship. When they get there, they're gonna kill them all and they're gonna take the land. That was it. And we gonna claim this land for the Queen of England. That was the plan the whole time. We going to find a new land. He never discovered, Christopher Columbus did not discover America. Portugal did. That's why they had the Piri Reis maps for over 50 years. And they don't want you to know that shit because they stole this land, and there were people here doing trade all over the world. If you ever look up this video, if you look at Y Files, there's a channel called Y Files, and they'll say, look up giants in America, and look up Egyptians in Grand Canyon. Egyptians in Grand Canyon, because in the Grand Canyon they got areas sealed off that you can't go to, where they found Egyptian mummies and tombs, and like Buddha, statues of Buddha, And this was before anyone in America ever even came to the West Side. You know, this is like way, like this was discovered like late, like after it was all civilized, and you know, we had been here for hundreds of years, and they finally discovered, you know, these Grand Canyon things. Anyways, basically, Christopher Columbus never discovered America. He had conspired with the Queen of England to claim this land for her, and then you know they would rewrite the history books. Just you know, since this was their land, they were going to write the history books, say that they discovered the land when really they stole it from the Native Americans, killed everybody here. It was the plan the whole time. That was the plan. But they don't tell you that in history books, because who wrote the history books? It's the white motherfuckers that stole the land from the Native Americans. They wrote the history books, and they don't want you to know that shit. They've been lying to you this whole time. And another thing is, a lot of these white people, they still in control, or you know, the powers that be. And for example, all I'm saying is sometimes you just need to do some research. One thing is this shit about
racketeering
Puff Daddy. I want y'all to see this shit.
Business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent. And he
Okay. Let's just talk about this right quick. They arrested this man under the RICO Act. If you don't know, the RICO Act was originally created to lock up drug traffickers, the mafia. This was for the mafia, okay? Like organized crime. This RICO Act, why it's important is because if you're using like like an organization and doing illegal stuff with an organization such as a music organization, and then you know trafficking drugs through you know your legal organization, people that work for you under the legal the music industry, or you know they can take all your shit, they can take all your assets, you know. And Puff Daddy got a lot of money now. You know what I'm saying? He got a bunch of houses, got private jets, a lot of assets, you know. And he also has a lot of power. And so, this man, they arrested this man for fucking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like this, like they really blowing this shit up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say like, it's a distraction from what's really going on. And I agree. There's some other shit going on. I think it's a lot of people involved in this supposedly too. I heard, you know, Obama, Jay-Z, Trey Songz, Usher, a bunch of politicians and royalty, like I don't know, Meghan and Harry, and some British royalty, English royalty or something. They had something to do with this too. Supposedly they had a bunch of politicians and royalty and stuff that would attend these events and participate. A lot of people are involved. But my point is though, is that this is like prostitution. This is like a simple charge, and they're blowing this up saying it's a RICO Act just so, you know, they can blow this thing up and take all its assets. I think it's really about the money, but not just the money, but the power. They wanted to crush him, and this is why I think, you know, they wanted to take him down. Because I saw this video right here.
Voting against Diddy in droves. The bad boy head honcho has launched a new initiative, Our Black Party, but people think that Puff isn't the leader we necessarily need.
If Trump gets elected, I really do believe in my heart there'll be a race war.
Diddy is demanding change. His Our Black Party mission is to create a platform to help advance a political agenda that addresses the needs of Black people. Initially, the two-step king was telling Black people to withhold their vote until promises concerning the community were enacted. Now, in a conversation with Charlamagne tha God, Diddy is doing an about-face and saying we should follow his initiative and vote for Biden.
It would be irresponsible of me to have us hold our vote hostage. But it would also be irresponsible of me to just let this moment go by. The world is watching, and not do everything I can to make sure that going forth that we're a part of the narrative, that we own our politics.
Diddy also says we need to build up a Black political army and build coalitions with communities, community leaders, and organizations that are Black-led and serving Black communities.
Let's not wait for these people to come and save us. Let's not wait for the Democratic Party. Let's not wait for government.
They not coming.
Let's own our politics.
Yeah,
Black
let's do
politics.
something about it.
We need to own that. We need to have a platform, an institution that's going to support and breed young Black politicians and social
Right.
leaders that have integrity, not just in the quiet rooms, publicly.
And while this all sounds well and good, fans on Twitter are giving Diddy and his plan the side eye, pointing out his past relationship with Trump and questioning his motives. But what do you think? Is Diddy onto something, or is he way off base? Let us know in the comments section.
So this is big. This is big because we all know that this is a white man's country. It was built under the Queen of England, and it was stolen from the original people that were here. There was Black people here, Native Americans here, they're brown Aboriginals, there was Mexicans here. That's why you hear about the War of France or whatever, the Mexican War and all that shit. They was here already. The Mexicans and the white people from France and Spain, you know, and Europe want to come over here and take over and kill everybody. But that's the history of the whole world. They did that in Australia. They killed all the Aborigines. They go to Africa and take all the slaves. You know what I'm saying? White people are narcissists and sociopaths. You know what I'm saying? They want to own everything. They want to dominate. They have anti-social complexes and shit. Anti-social personality disorders and stuff. Just very narcissistic. A lot of white people. I'm saying a lot of white people. I know that they have that gene in them. That's like kind of sociopathic. And this is the history. You know, history is just, you know, we would always say in history class, one of the most famous quotes is history is just nothing but a compilation of barbarianism. You know, look at Julius Caesar in Rome and stuff like that. You know, they was always at war and stuff like that. Even when they killed the Black Messiah, Jesus, you know, that was a white man Pontius Pilate under Julius Caesar, and they lynched or crucified a black man, which is Jesus, on the cross. And Jesus was the savior, and he was trying to teach them how to escape the white man, you know, his slavery and shit like that. You know, how to live better. You know, you don't have to be a slave and do this. You know, live like these people, because they not living right. I'm gonna show y'all a better way. We can love each other and build a better society by working together instead of always going to war and fighting, because that's what these white people like to do is, you know, dominate. We're going to go to war and take over your land, you know what I'm saying? We're going to go over here and conquer these people and conquer these people and conquer them and take over the whole fucking world. Well, that's what we learn in history class. That's why I say, you know, it's important to learn history, but not just, you know, the bullshit that they teach you in high school. They just spitting facts at you. and then you just write them down on tests. Real study of history is looking at this shit and really analyzing what went on. What are the facts? What are really the facts? You know, they just telling you these stuff and you just telling you this shit, you're supposed to accept it. Did you do your research though? You know, so a lot of times, you know, we would in college, you know, we would just do a lot of research and write these papers, come up with these theses or whatever, and supporting documents. And I think a lot of times, you know, they try to discount or, you know, devalue the importance of a 4-year degree at a university, and that is not true. It is very important, and you should never stop asking questions, because this is not just, I think this is deeper. This is my own theory though. They locked this man up on RICO charges for sex trafficking type shit, and he wasn't really like sex trafficking all these. It's a lot of people that came here voluntarily. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people came voluntarily. You know what? A lot of people, you know what's gonna go down at the after party. You know that's your choice to show up. These people wasn't hostages. You know what I'm saying? These people wasn't there against their will. You know what I mean? They might, some of them might have got into it and start having a bad time. You know, whatever. But people were dying. They were trying to get into these parties. You know, everybody knew about puffy parties. Everybody wanted to get down with the freak off. Shit, who don't want to freak off? You know, and they arrested this man for this shit. But I don't think that, like, I'm hearing a lot of people saying it's a distraction. There's really something else going on. And I think this is it. They didn't want him to start a black party because they know that white people are now the minority. They are becoming the minority. And colored people, and you know, the blacks and the browns, the Hispanics and the browns, they're going to stick together. They don't come together most of the time because, you know, we all come from the same, you know, grow up in the same socioeconomic circumstances, and we have the same values, and we can relate to each other. And so we would outnumber white people in any vote, you know, black, brown, yellow, whatever, any non-whites. And so these white people are usually like Republicans, because, you know, I mean, I've only seen a black president, black people running. Kamala Harris and Obama ran under Democratic tickets. So that's the closest thing that black people have to a voice or a vote is the Democratic ticket. And it still neglects the issues of black Americans, such as reparations and this racism, and why, you know, Holocaust survivors and Jewish people and like Asians got these reparation checks paid from the United States, and black people still haven't got reparations, and they don't want that shit to happen. These white people, because they know they stole everything from black people, they trying to hold on as hard as they can to the power. And when they see a black man coming into power, they got to take him down. That's why they killed Malcolm X. That's why they killed Martin Luther King Jr. That's why they assassinate anybody that's going to try to take them down, just like JFK. JFK was going to expose the CIA and take down the CIA and talk about the UFOs and shit, but it was really about the CIA killing all these people and stuff like that, and how they was doing all this dirty work and trying to take over the world and assassinate a lot of the people in other countries. That's why they took out JFK. If you ever want to do some research, you read that book called Behold a Pale Horse by William Bill Cooper. It talks about 9/11, 20 years before it happened. It talks about climate change and how they control the weather. This is happening now. I read this book 20 years ago. I knew all this stuff 20 years ago. It talks about prophecies from the Bible. It talks about the Knights Templar. You know what I'm saying? The Illuminati. And how the Knights Templar, the Illuminati, and all these people are really, you know, all intertwined. All of them are intertwined. And there's a real small percentage of people at the top 3% or whatever that run the whole world. And they like to cause wars and keep conflict so that they can keep the population down, the population control. You know, you can't control people if the population get too big, so they, you know, like to fuck up the weather, have wars or whatever. But, you know, a lot of people don't even think about stuff like this. You know, they don't question nothing. They just believe whatever the news has and say, oh, you know, we had a hurricane. Like, bro, ask yourself this, man. They had this hurricane in Florida last week. It was a level 3. Nothing. Level 3 ain't that bad. There was 11 fucking tornadoes right before that hurricane came through. I ain't never seen 11 fucking tornadoes like that in my life. Not no level 3 hurricane, bruh. And it tore that fucking Tampa area up. And that's like prime real estate. This is another thing that they talked about in that book. You know, the Illuminati is like a bunch of organizations. It's a corporation, just like the United States is a corporation. It's like McDonald's, Starbucks, GMC, Chevy, all the car companies, fucking BlackRock, fucking Boeing, you know, Intel, IBM, whatever, you name it, American company. The Illuminati, eventually it's like a pyramid. And it's like these top people like Warren Buffett, like, you know, like Warren Buffett and all these big investors, they own like 80%, 90, you know, like 80, 75% of all the stocks of every company. The big major companies, at least those successful ones, they own like 75, 80% of the entire stock market. That means they own 75, 80% of every fucking company that they're invested in. They own everything. So it's these rich people, you know, that basically buy up the stocks in the companies. They become the owner. They own every fucking company. And what happens when you own every fucking company? And you got all the fucking money. What else? What is there to do next? Real estate. Real estate. And that's why they're saying that there's a lot of videos I've seen where they're saying that, you know, it was a real estate grab here in Hawaii. They had the fires. They showed pictures. I saw, you know, pictures. If you can find them, do your research. There was a laser that came down over the areas, and it was like right next to like Mark Zuckerberg and Oprah Winfrey's, you know what I'm saying, estates over there. And all the rich people stuff didn't get burned, but right next to it, all that land just miraculously burned. You know what I'm saying? How convenient when they're trying to expand their estates over there, and they want to, you know, buy that land. It becomes very convenient to burn it all down. Just like another thing, in North Carolina, they had the lithium. They're saying there's a lithium grab in Asheville. There is a mine there that has supposedly the world's largest source of mineral quartz or something like that, something for some semiconductors or something. And they're saying that the town people are opposing the mine expanding. You know, they want to dig deeper and, you know, larger, wider. And the townspeople are like, no, we want to keep the pollution down. You know, we don't want to sell our land. And so, boom, next thing you know, level 5 hurricane. And they're saying that this is unprecedented. They've never had any, like, climate, you know, weather event of this magnitude ever. Like, it just doesn't happen. It does not happen. Like, this has to be man-made. Just like probably those tornadoes was in Florida. Because what do you do when you got all the money? You start buying real estate. And if you haven't noticed, this is the plan of the Illuminati. Is to basically take over all the companies, which they own already. At least the good ones. Then you start buying all the real estate. Once you start acquiring all the real estate, you can start raising the prices and make the rent unaffordable. And then what you got? You either gonna bow down to them or you're gonna be homeless. You know, and they don't want anyone else to start like another political party or branch off. They want to control everything. So they don't want other people to have their own land, or black people to have their own political party, or black people to have their own resources and their own land, because then you can't control them. And it's all about control. You know what I'm saying? If you can't control them, if you can't be over them and own that land and say that this is our land, you can't tax them. You can't get rich off of them. And so that's their plan, is to get rich off of you by, making you work at their corporations. You make them rich because they get all the money, you do all the work. You don't get paid nothing but minimum wage, $10, $15 an hour, $20 an hour. That's nothing compared to $20 million an hour. These guys have $1 billion, $300 million salaries. What do you get for a year at McDonald's? What, 30,000 at the most? 15,000? Please, your income at McDonald's is 30,000. At even a hog factory or something like that, you might make 40, 50,000. They making 50 million, easy, 500 million a year, and you're doing all the work. They're not doing shit. They're not doing no work. You do all the work. It's not fair. You know what I'm saying? But that's the whole plan, though. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And in order to take this to the next level, they have to get all the real estate. And if you've been noticing, like in my neighborhood, they call me, it's harassment. They 2-3 times a week trying to buy my house. They trying to buy all the land. They trying to buy all the property, because we're right here by the mall or whatever. But they're doing that everywhere. There's the real estate people are trying to buy all the land now. You'll get calls if you're a homeowner. You know what I'm talking about. They're calling your house, trying to buy property. They're trying to buy all the property. If you're homeowners, know this. We get harassed. 2 or 3 times a week, you're going to get a call from somebody trying to buy your property. And that's their agenda now. And, so they can, they already got a lot of slaves, everybody working for them, modern day slavery. You know what I'm saying? You can't even survive off damn $20 an hour really anymore. But once they control all the real estate, they can start charging whatever they want. And that just keeps you in control. There's no way to get ahead in life. You'll never really own your property. You'll never be able to be a homeowner, to have your own shit. They will always control you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they want. They want to keep you under control. And that's why this P. Diddy shit was so important, because he was trying to start a black political party so that, anybody that's non-white in this racist ass country could have a voice, a vote. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that, we don't always want to go Democratic. We don't always want to, damn, can we get our own fucking political party? So they was going to have Republican, Democrat, and Black Party on the ballot. He was going to do that as a basically like independent. He was going to start like an independent. So it was going to be like Republican, Democrat, Independent on the ballot. The Independent was going to be the Black Party. But see, it takes a lot of organization. He didn't have time to put it together. And then they hit him with this shit right here. And that fucked him up. And so he couldn't put nobody on the ballot. But that was his agenda. That was his eventual plan. Imagine if this dude had somebody that he was down with him, that he was funding, that got elected to be president. You know how much influence, how much control Puff Daddy would have then? You think that sex trafficking with them freak officers going down? This nigga would have had a whole world freak, a whole United States freak off. Ain't no telling what kind of shit. But anyways. What? Well, everybody would have been freaked off by it. But I'm saying, imagine if he funded, this Black Party, and then that candidate got elected president of the United States. Somebody with that much influence and that much power, if he's not white, it's a problem for this country. You know what I'm saying? They not gonna let that shit happen. They gonna try to take you down, but they gonna try to confuse you with the bullshit. And that's why the only way they could come at him was with the sex parties. They arrested this dude for fucking. For fucking. Like, bitch, who don't do drugs and fuck? Everybody do that shit. Like, and so when they had like some underage kids that they don't. Y'all ain't saying that when Michael Jackson was goddamn fucking having all them little boys running around and shit, and Neverland story came out. You know what I'm saying? R. Kelly was doing this shit for years, and it ain't finally catch up to him until something, I don't know, he ran out of money or he quit paying people off, or they said he had too much money and he had too much influence. They had to take him down. They wanted all his money, seize all his assets too. Whatever. You know, they do black people so wrong in this country, man. As soon as you know, a black man gets some goddamn real money, they want to take it all from you. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, again, I think that this is a lot bigger than these freak-offs, these Puff Daddy freak-offs. This is a lot bigger. They don't want black people to organize. That's why, like I said, they killed Malcolm X. They killed Martin Luther King. That's why they probably took down Puff Daddy, because he was trying to organize and get a lot of black people into politics. It ain't hardly no black people in politics. Why the fuck not? It's the easiest goddamn. They don't even drug test you, bro. You can smoke all the goddamn weed you want and goddamn be a mayor, a senator, a motherfucking governor. You know what I'm saying? A goddamn representative, district representative, a house speaker. You don't never get drug tested. These motherfucking politicians doing all the goddamn cocaine and the motherfucking drinking and shit on the job and fucking. They doing all that shit. Goddamn, I don't know why motherfucking black people ain't trying to get into politics. Motherfucker, if I ain't have so many goddamn felonies, I'd be in the politics. Shit. Boy, you have all... Anyway. This ain't about me. This is about, you know, the big picture. You know what I'm saying? But... Yo, black people need to get into politics. I be trying to tell my kids, y'all probably need to get into politics. It's a 6-figure fucking job. Some of these jobs in politics paying $250,000 a year. Be the president and governor, whatever, certain like Georgia and Florida, man, they get paid like 200. I think Ron DeSantis' income is like $200,000 a year. It's 6 figures though. We're talking 6-figure income. You don't do any fucking work. You dress up in a nice fucking suit and you might give a little speech, you know, tell people what they want to hear, and then spend all they goddamn money. You don't even have to, like, they take you out to eat and shit every day. You know, you got like a stipend and shit. You get, you know, they give you cars and shit to ride around in. They chauffeur you. They buy all your meals. You know, you get people, lobbyists trying to take you out to eat every fucking day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know, they take you on these vacations and shit. Like, bro, ain't no better job in America than being a politician. And that's why they want to keep that shit white fucking on, bro. Like, this shit bigger than them goddamn freak-offs, man. They trying to keep black people suppressed by putting another black man with power out of power. That's what I think this shit is about. This shit is a lot deeper than what people, this all distracted, everybody, oh, he's doing this nasty shit, and, you know, he got these kids running around there and shit like that. It won't, boy, a lot of these people, they came there on their own volition. You had all these celebrities, all these politicians, you had royalty. They was trying to get into these events. They was dying to get in. You had people that, you know, you couldn't even get on the list to make it in here. You know what I'm saying? This was like, you had to be high profile and shit. You had to get an invitation. You can't just walk, you can't pay your way in there. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't there unless you wanted to be there and somebody wanted you to be there. You know what I'm saying? So, all that freak-off shit, that Rico racketeering shit, that's bullshit, man. I think they really just didn't want no black man to have no power. You know? Give black people a voice. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why my message here is we need to start looking at the big picture. Stop believing everything that we're goddamn told. Don't stop asking questions. Really try to do some research, get to the bottom, see what's really going on. Don't just believe everything they fucking tell you in the media. Like, goddamn, and we need some fucking black politicians. When we gonna get some fucking black politicians, bruh? I'm tired of seeing these old white, pasty, peeled potato looking motherfuckers in office. I'm tired of that shit. Why can't we get some young black folk? Why it always gotta be an old wrinkled white man? I'm tired of looking at these old wrinkled white folk, man, trying to tell us what to do, taking all our goddamn money, telling us taxes, and they spend it all, and bitch, we broke. I'm tired of this shit, man. Like, we need some different fucking people. We need some black people in office. Y'all please, somebody, bruh, if I wasn't been in prison so many times, I would run for office. You know what I'm saying? But if y'all want to make a difference, I'm doing my part by speaking on the shit. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all without no criminal records, you know, family people. I ain't no motherfucker. I ain't trying to be no example. I ain't trying to be no leader. I ain't trying to be no role model. I never was. I ain't never follow the rules. You know what I'm saying? That ain't my game. I stay in my own lane. You know? We need some y'all people that, you know what I'm saying, that know how to fly straight to get in office, and they give a damn about your community. You know what I'm saying? You see your parents struggling and shit like that, you know, and you see the problem of the people of the same skin color as you, and you want to do something about it. Well, goddamn, run for office, man. Get that 6-figure job. You know what I'm saying? Go take them motherfucking lunches from them lobbyists. You know what I'm saying? Just don't take them bribes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because then they going to have you doing the white man's, you know what I'm saying, agenda. Just do what's right for the people. You know what I'm saying? Peace out. Love y'all.